check and see how the stream is looking on the Twitch, if it ever loads, and with the sound and the testing, I'm going to have to reload the page because it doesn't start. And we have sound excellent, and Dementia Radio now, and recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Hey, Luke Ski!
We have Shoebox of Worm Quartet in the house.
Hi.
And we have the Belle Isle Rats.
Hey.
I love that Mike plays along with the intro music that we got off of some royalty-free website, you know? Mike, I may need you to deconstruct the music for me so I can make a new intro with, like, a new voiceover at some point. But
Just let me know, baby.
Okay. Welcome to episode 801 of the Funny Music Podcast for October 23rd, 2025. The title of this week's episode is Squalid, Pest. And your job is to work that into our conversations somehow. All right. And I promise you this week's episode will not be as long as last week's episode. That was a marathon. I can't do that again until episode 900 at least. So, yeah. So, let's do the catch-up thing, shall we?
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
No, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Well, at the immediate moment, I am doing a piece of commission artwork for one Grant Bachoco. It is something that he intends to... An image he intends to put on, you know, various things to sell to his fan base follower type peoples. So, but I don't know if he wants that to be like a super secret thing, so I'm not gonna divulge what exactly it is, but it'll be fun. And to say what I'll be doing later today, I'll be editing the podcast I recorded 2 days ago with Mr. Shoebox of Worm Quartet.
Ooh, new podcast.
Yes.
There are like three podcasts in the last week. This is just getting stupid. That's also the three podcasts I've done in the last year, I think. So
you like to bunch them all up, just get them all out of the way, right?
No.
Yeah, and I also in that particular interview, you know, for the Animation and Stuff podcast, I intentionally did not talk about his new song because I knew he was going to be on this podcast talking about his new song, and just told everyone who listens to the episode, like, just go listen to the FuMPCast to hear about the new song, so we don't end up doubling up on content, you know. So, yeah. Other than that, basically just let's see, work, therapy, work, recorded a Shoebox podcast, work. Yeah, that was basically it. So, way back when, and I should mention now that I have, as of yesterday, I have been working at the new job for 60 days. So at some point, they're supposed to give me an evaluation like they did at 30 days, but they were just too busy or whatever because, you know, mail is a thing that, like, never stops ever. So,
Yes, I'm right here. Seriously.
Yeah, it's everywhere. So,
right.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, this coming Saturday, Kalani's best friend Ella is getting married, and Kalani is the maid of honor. And right now, my job has me working 6 days a week, 6 hours a day, 6 days a week. Basically, it's kind of non-negotiable, and normally my 1 day off a week is on Mondays. So, you know, several weeks ago, I said I need to get the 25th off, and when I asked, I assumed what they would do is just, I would have Monday off, but then in that same, you know, Monday through Sunday week, I would also get Saturday off. But then I was informed that, that no, it doesn't work that way. I would need to work on that Monday, and so that my one day off of the week would be the Saturday. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I can do that. And then I looked at the calendar and realized, oh, that means I'm going to be working for 11 days in a row just to ensure that I get that one Saturday off. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess that's what I'll have to do. So I showed up for work this past Monday, and I worked the whole 6-hour day. And then the next day I was informed, our work weeks, the way we work them, the pay schedule goes, it actually goes from Saturday to Friday. So that means that you still need to take a day off before, this coming Friday ends. So you're going to have a day off on Thursday, which is today. So it's like, that means I worked 8 days in a row, and then I have today off, then I work tomorrow, then I have Saturday off for the wedding, then I have to work for another 8 days in a row until I get my next proper day off on November 3rd. So this is their fault for not, I'm, as a person who's, OCD and ADHD and all that stuff, it's like I very specifically say things over and over again, and they should have picked up on the fact that when I said, so I'm not, I'm working Monday and then I have Saturday off, right? And they're like, yes. And then they waited until, Tuesday afternoon to tell me, oh, by the way, you have Thursday off now. And yeah, it's frustrating. So at least today I got to sleep in super late and give my body a rest, because it's working 8 days in a row sucks. What was the whole point of me bringing that whole thing up, other than to say what I've been up to? Just to explain that I really, really wish I was working a job where I got to sit at a desk, because sitting is basically against the rules. The other day there was a stack of pallets, and I was waiting for somebody to bring more stuff for me to hand unload. So I sat down on the pallets and was there for like, I don't know, a minute, maybe two tops, when one of the people that helps that runs the facility came by, and she's a nice woman, but she basically kind of came up to me like a grandma would, like kind of grabbed me by my shoulder and my arm, and she like literally like did that thing like, oh, I'm helping you stand up now, and she and as she was doing it, she was saying, oh, you need to stand up, you're not allowed to sit, and then she just kind of kept going on, and I'm like, I just want to ask why. Why am I not allowed to sit? Why are there no chairs in here? Just things don't make sense to me, and it frustrates me. And so anyway, I want to be a good employee there. I don't want to be some kind of squalid pest, is my point, I guess.
Nice. Good one.
Yeah. So I have a suit that Kalani bought for me because I showed her all of my nice clothes, and like maybe one pair of pants was minimally exceptional in her mind, to her incredibly high standards. She's a person who owns a $1,500 Louis Vuitton purse, so my scrub clothes, are never going to be good enough for her, but. We'll take a bunch of nice pictures, and y'all will see them at some point soon in the near future. So
cool.
So yeah, that's about it for me. Other than to tell everyone, hey, be on the lookout, because either late tonight or tomorrow morning, I'll have the new Animation Stuff podcast posted for the month of October, featuring Shoebox of Worm Quartet. Yay! So what have you been up to, Devo Spice?
Well, last night I had a one-off acting class on stage combat. Where we were doing, punches and slaps and chokes and stuff like that. And my teacher brought in this professional fight choreographer to teach the class. So it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot, but it was the type of thing where I kind of realized, like, I need to train on this. Like, I need to be taking classes in this, especially if I get any type of acting roles on any kind of sci-fi show. They're always punching and kicking, and as they said on Buffy, it's like that weird karate they all seem to learn magically. I need to know how to do that. I do know Taekwondo. I took it when I was a kid. I'm woefully out of shape and not nearly as flexible, but I still remember the moves. I just I told my father about the course, and I was like, yeah, I know how to hit people. I don't know how to not hit people, which is important when you're filming, So
I don't know. I've been on stage with you several times. I don't think you've hit me once.
yeah, that's true.
Even when I really, really deserved it, like a lot.
You would fit in perfectly in the Weird Al pit.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Ooh, segue.
We'll get to that. So that was yesterday evening. Yesterday morning, and I told this story on this week's episode of The Insider, which I recorded shortly after it happened while it was still fresh in my mind. So there's more detail in The Insider. But yesterday morning, I'm out walking my dogs, and there's a woman in my neighborhood named April who is very petite, and she walks this 85-pound dog who, she only weighs slightly more than the dog does. So when the dog gets really excited, she has trouble, controlling it. So the dog, his name's Toby, saw my dogs and charged. And I didn't know this was happening until I heard April grunting and screaming, and I turn around and I see April being dragged along the sidewalk by this dog pulling her down the side of the road. So she stands up, and she had lost the dog, and I managed to keep the dogs apart. Her dog just wanted to play. He's an 85-pound puppy. He's really happy and friendly. He just wanted to play. My 2 Yorkshire Terriers do not like other dogs, especially big ones. So they were freaking out. So I'm trying to keep the dogs apart. And April takes Toby back. And then I look over at April, and I see she's got blood on her. And I'm like, oh. And then I look again, and do you ever look at something and see something unexpected, and it takes your brain a little bit longer to realize what you're actually looking at? I'm staring at April, and I'm like, that doesn't look right. And I'm like, I'm going to call 911. And she goes, no, don't do that. I'm fine. And I'm like, you're missing part of your finger. I'm going to call 911. No. Apparently, when Toby took off, she went flying into a tree. And when she jerked to a stop when she hit the tree, it ripped off the tip of her ring finger on her right hand.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Ow. So
I called 911. The police came. Ambulance came. We did find the finger. Well, I found the finger. We put it in ice and sent them off to the hospital. Unfortunately, they weren't able to reattach it. They said that the venous tissue was too small or something like that. But so that was my excitement yesterday. So now there's the sidewalk out by the kids' bus stop has dots of blood all over it now. So that's
it's hard to believe that couldn't have been the first time that happened. I mean, if she's out walking her dog that much,
she's been dragged by the dog before, but never like this. What happened was it had rained the night before, so the sidewalk was wet, and when Toby took off, she slipped and fell, and she was right next to the tree, so she got pulled into the tree and then dragged along the sidewalk as Toby was just getting momentum.
And wait, she lost her finger. You offered to call 911, and at first she said, no, don't worry about it?
Yeah, she didn't know how bad she was hurt. I got
9 more fingers.
Yeah.
I would think anytime you're missing even part of a digit, that's yes, call 911.
Yeah. But no, she really didn't know how badly she was hurt. And in fact, when she was at the hospital, they were so concerned with her hand and her finger that they didn't really check out the rest of her. And it wasn't until she got home later that she realized her ear was cut and she bruised a rib and she was all banged up and so that was my excitement for yesterday.
Any day that includes the phrase "I found the finger." That's
in the Devo Spice Discord chat. Selganor Yoster, who's one of my Patreon subscribers, says, a rare occurrence that a cop thanks you when you give him the finger.
What up, jokes.
So she's okay. She came by today to thank me, but I mean, she's still, her fingers are all bandaged up and she's still missing, the last digit, unfortunately, but she's okay otherwise. Haven't seen
Now,
the
Mark may have touched all kinds of severed fingers in the course of his day. He doesn't know because he doesn't open the packages.
Indeed.
That is kind of a life-altering injury. It's just,
It is.
You know,
Yeah.
That's God.
Yeah.
It would ruin if you're a guitar player. I mean, ruin a guitar player.
It would, yeah. Well, it was her right hand. I think she is right-handed, so she'd still. But I mean, my first thought was typing because I'm a touch typer, and I was like, do they sell like finger extensions for people like that? I mean, they must.
I can still play major seventh chords, but not minor seventh chords.
What other types of typing are there that don't involve touching?
Well, this type where you look and you go one finger at a time, like my old boss did, and it drove me freaking nuts.
I typed the intimidation.
I'm half remembering a trivia now. I guess right when Black Sabbath were about to turn into something, Tony Iommi was working in a factory somewhere, and a couple of his fingers got the tips taken right off, and he managed to just come up with these little caps that he put on his fingers, and that's how he's played ever since.
Oh,
Wow.
He invented heavy metal because of that.
Wonder if the
That's the
fingertips were
story.
made out of metal, and that's where they decided that. Anyway.
They're certainly perpetual. Sorry.
So, Rats, what have you guys been up to?
No, not a whole lot. I've been doing a semi-interesting thing I've never done before. I've been involved in this musical theater project. There's this guy at our church who's done some TV directing in the past, and he came up with this play. It's a Christmas play called The Bethlehem Project, and it's like basically the story of Mary and Joseph going to Bethlehem and all the wacky adventures they had along the way. You know, it's supposed to be funny and whimsical. And when I first read the script, I'm like, I don't know. But so I wrote a couple songs for it, and so I've been having to go to like casting sessions, which I've never done before, and I have to pick out these actors who can sing these songs, and so I've had to like rearrange them, lower the keys in some of them because none of them are tenors; they're all like lower guys like this, and you know they all had to sing something. One guy had nothing prepared, so he sang "Happy Birthday" a cappella. That was his audition. So okay, I'll just sing "Happy Birthday." What the heck?
Oh man, that's lame.
Yeah, it kind of, you think, but and then you know, some of the women there's a couple women that could probably sing the one female vocal song, but a lot of them just have this really theatery voice, you know what I mean, which I'm not really used to working with. I'm used to working with, you know, cleaner pop voices, but so it's been an interesting experience. It's turned into, you know, it's first, oh, can you just write me a couple songs? Yeah, I'll write them some songs. Oh, by the way, we need a music director. Can you do that? Because there's nobody else. So it's like it's expanding now because I'm involved.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing for me. It's something new I haven't done before, so it's cool. It's kind of a time suck, but it's, you know, it'll be okay.
That sounds pretty cool. Is that going to be playing at like a local theater or something?
Yeah, they're going to do one night at my church, and then there's this other Lutheran church in Studio C, North Hollywood, and they've got a built-in theater. Right, you go downstairs and there's this little 72-seat theater.
Oh, cool!
And it's pretty cool, yeah. And they've got a nice little setup in there. And it's a really small scale thing, which is good because that's the way I like it. And it's going to open, and we're going to do one show and only 3 shows. One on November 30th, and then 2 on December 5th and 6th at this other theater in this church. So it'll be kind of fun. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Other than that, you know, pretty much. Oh, I got to tell you one thing. Right, I had a sort of a career high in the piano tuning world. I tuned for Sir Elton John a couple weeks ago.
Oh, wow, nice.
Good Lord.
Well, I've been tuning for this studio called Bandrika here in LA. They're like the newest, like high-end studio that everybody's recording there. I tuned for Megan Trainor a couple months before that. I get there and they've got these 2 Steinways all mic'd up, ready to go. I'm like, oh, you're doing a double piano? He goes, no, man, Elton John's coming in today. I'm like, okay. Well, I hope I do a good enough job for him, you know. I kept waiting the whole rest of the day. Oh, God, I'm going to get a text. Hey, Elton doesn't like the tuning. You're going to have to come back. But luckily it never came. But that whole day I'm like stressed out because that's when you turn for people like that, you're always worried that you're not good enough, you know, and that you're going to get a text and they're going to complain, you know. So anyway,
Wow.
that was my big deal.
That's not a C4. C4 should be this here. I don't know. I don't know anything about piano tuning.
It's good that you don't.
Yeah. It's for the best, I'm sure.
It is.
Tom, you want to add anything?
I certainly don't want it. I feel like I'm following the Beatles on Sullivan after that. Well, I was going to remind you about that. I wasn't sure if you were going to mention that, but Dad, you tuned for Elton John. Dang.
I didn't meet the guy. But as I was leaving, his drummer Nigel Olsson pulled up in the parking lot, and then that guy, he's the guy that played on all the Elton John records, and he was wearing these flaming blue pants, and he's like in his 80s now. I mean, old people that still dress like they're in their 20s, kind of weird. And he was driving this little Mini Cooper that had all this British stuff on there, like the Union Jack and all this British stuff on there. The kind of a car you would spot immediately in public. So that was interesting.
Nice.
So anyway.
All right, so Shoebox, what have you been up to?
Oh man, stuff. No piano tunings. But today's my son's birthday.
Indeed, happy birthday. How old is he now?
He just
66.
turned 21.
21, okay.
So yeah, we just got back from going to Yukaku, because one of the cool things about here is actually we have a yakiniku place that's reasonably nearby. So we went there. I have eaten entirely too much meat this evening, so that happened. Yeah, so that's going on. The band's still going pretty well. I am also in a rat related band. My band's called Dead Rat Disco. It's a punk band I joined a few months ago, and we're going to the studio in December to actually make some things happen. We got a Halloween show coming up, and then we got shows in November, so that's happening. I've been writing a bunch of crap for that, and Quartet still exists, obviously, and we'll get into that. Obviously, that'll happen. So
yeah. And speaking of that, why don't you give us a?
I might do MC Lars song as well. That's also coming up in about a week. So
awesome. So give us a quick intro to your song, and we will give it a listen.
It is reasonably self-explanatory. It is about when I saw the schedule for Riot Fest 2025, and it just absolutely blew my mind. Okay. First off, I can see Agnostic Front and Weird Al on the same day. That can happen. Like a couple hours on the same event, and then like Screeching Weasel and Dancehall Crashers, the Beach Boys with John Stamos for some flippin' reason. That's Mike Love's deputized version of the Beach Boys. Wherever the hell these got going. But yeah. Amazing lineup of bands, some of which I've wanted to see like forever. H2O and who the hell else? Soft Play, they were amazing. Tons of bands, but yeah. And one of the things that occurred to me is, okay, this is Weird Al's playing at a festival. Weird Al does not typically do festivals. It is a punk festival. It will attract that crowd. It is at least possible that there will in fact be a pit during Weird Al, and I, as noted before, am too old for such things, and I had to make an exception to that rule. I made more exceptions than I probably should have during that weekend. My ribs still hurt, but it was an awesome time, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. I ended up writing this here song.
All right, here is I Was in the Weird Al Pit at Riot Fest by Worm Quartet.
Understand, since 1984 I've been a drooling rabbit fan of well-constructed comedy played on accordion, if you'll forget the scansion. When I was 9, the first time I heard Beat It with the lyrics redefined, it built up new synapses in my adolescent mind, and I was just like, damn son. Found his first album in the nice price bargain record bin, the best $3.99 I'd ever spent. A squeeze box flinging dude with full-on punk rock attitude, unleashing polka rage against the rock establishment. So all the while, he kept up with the trends in every single music style. There was no artist that he would not playfully defile. It could not be defeated. I'd seen him play, and though his show was awesome and his game blew me away, there was one minor criticism that I can relay, and that's that I was seated. When I saw he'd be live at Riot 2025, crowd was like a fire that was ready to be lit. But mission statement's never gonna start a circle pit. It's just too freaking dulcet. But then the strains of 90s reprints from a certain roast of Kurt Cobain came ringing out, and soon the masses could not be contained. The crowd became convulsant. The friendliest of fits, no windmills, no karate twits, just screaming lyrics in each other's face. And as I caught my breath, they started chanting Wall of Death, and the fat intro started and kept going. And okay, this is a long intro. We're kind of losing momentum here. Okay. You ain't nothing. Okay, and we charged into the space. You may have seen AC/DC with Axl Rose. You may have seen Guster play in women's clothes, but I was in the Weird Al pit at Riot Fest. You may have seen Inside Out before Zach joined Rage, or seen NWA get arrested on stage, but I was in the Weird Al pit at Riot Fest. Let me hear you scream, we want polka! 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 Alright, open up this pit! Let's go! You may think this sounds sus or thoroughly ridiculous, and all those in attendance would agree. The best way not to care is to be fully self-aware and dare to be as stupid as the man told you to be. You may have seen a post makeup, pre-makeup kiss, or see that my crowdsources your analysis, but I was in the Weird Al pit at Riot Fest. You may have seen Johnny Cash in the Folsom jail, or seen Amanda Palmer flash the Daily Mail, but I was in the Weird Al pit at Riot Fest. You may have seen War kill the rich and the famous, or seen the Beach Boys play with John Stamos, and holy crap, that happened at the same damn Riot Fest. You may have seen Motley Crue on their final tour, you may have seen them again when they did 27 more, but I was in the Weird Al pit at Riot Fest. My wife saying yes when I proposed, and the birth of her son was pretty cool, I suppose. But I was in the Weird Al pit at Riot Fest. Yes.
Yes, indeed. I love that this song is like, oh yeah, well I saw this happen in 1982. Oh yeah, well I was in the Weird Al pit. Like, because it's such a like, I don't want to say a punk thing because like everybody does it. Like, I saw this band before they were signed. The only claim like I have of that is I saw the Beastie Boys before License to Ill came out. That's the only thing I could think of that is anything remotely to like cool like that.
I have a question, Shoebox. Those drums are insane. Did you program those?
I did not. No, that is a. I don't know how to get into this. I broke a lot of my own rules making this song. It sounds a lot different than some of the other Warburton things, at least to me. I mean, musically it's very similar, but typically I build my crap from. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it, man. I build it all. I mean, for the most part, it's programmed. All my stuff's always programmed with some live keyboards thrown in, and occasionally other things. But this time around, instead of doing things note by note the way I normally do, I actually broke a rule and used some loops and things. And I don't mean like full-on drum loops to take up a whole thing. I mean, I bought this whole set of measures of drums and stuff that I could kind of put together in a way that actually sounded decent. So, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. No. I mean, you do whatever you got to do to make it happen. The end result is great. So
thank you, man. Appreciate it. Really. Yeah, I'm really, really happy with how that came out. So,
it sounds cool.
Thank you much.
And it's one of the more punk rocky sounding songs of yours, and I think you being in an actual punk rock band may have influenced the sound a bit.
I'm writing a lot of stuff, and for the most part, it's all. I mean, I've been writing mostly comedy for the last few decades, and now everything I've ever been angry about is coming out in the punk. So I've got these really angry songs at Dead Rat Disco, and some humor things are sneaking in there, but it's different. But yeah, it's definitely throwing me in that direction as far as how I'm writing stuff, and that's probably what threw me in the mindset of this. And yeah, broke some rules with how I'm doing the music, but yeah, the bass line is still, very much nope. I notice where that goes. I played I played the accordion solo, of course, live on guitar. So that's all. All the accordion is guitar. What the hell else? I don't know what to say about it. It's all that happened. I got done with it, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try another thing now because I've always mixed my own crap. I'm gonna have somebody else mix this. So I turned to Steve Goody, and he agreed to do so for money because that's what he does for a living. So that worked out. And so he did a fantastic job with it. I went back and forth with him. Normally, when I mix stuff, I'll keep going back and picking at it and picking at it. It takes me forever to finish something. I just keep picking at it. And it turns out if I work with somebody else and have them do that, I pick at them. So I pick by proxy and just you can teach this and this. It's the same damn thing, only I'm also irritating another person. But regardless, two of the complaints I hear about Worm Quartet things are often that it's hard to understand the lyrics and that there isn't enough bass, and I think neither of those is a problem with this. So I'm very happy with the job he did. I'm happy with this one. It's fun.
And for those wondering, Weird Al has heard the song. I sent it to him after it was posted, and he responded saying, "Love it, very honored. Please give my love and thanks to everyone involved." So happy birthday, Al! Happy birthday, Al!
Yes. Execute birthday 66.
I was amused. Sulu also asked him about it because shortly after that, they met up for Dr. Demento's retirement party thing. She was asking him if he heard this song. I'm like, that's so cool.
Oh, good. Let her annoy him. I don't want to annoy him.
Yeah, I could just annoy by proxy.
So I love how we sent out the FuMP newsletter today, and in other news bit that Shoebox writes at the bottom of it, he came up with a whole bunch of other ones. Like, I sat through the Scorpions because Alice Cooper was opening and I wanted to leave after Alice, but my friend wanted to stay, and oh my God, Winds of Change is like 8 hours long. So those are other songs. But my favorite one was the last one. I saw someone puke on Devo Spice's merch table once, but people moved all his stuff out of the way just in time.
That was a Castaways in Ithaca, right?
That was a Castaways in Ithaca, yes.
Watching all these people who have clearly been doing merchant shows for so long that they just, instinct, just get stuff out of the way.
Yeah, everything gets pulled back.
Puke avoidance poetry. It was glorious.
I think there was one band who, he puked into, a box of their merch or something that was on the floor next to the stage.
For the most part, stuff got out of the way. I think.
Yeah, but I think that one box was kind of ruined.
So I'm as an uncultured person, I need to ask, what does Wall of Death mean?
Okay, you could of course look online, but I'm right here. It is a thing in a mosh pit.
Why should I even have a podcast if I can't ask people to explain things to me because I'm too lazy to look them up myself?
Occasionally in a mosh pit, usually at a metal show, you'll have the crowd will kind of divide itself. So it's like opens up the whole area, and you got people against one side, people against the other side, and a big open area in the middle. And as soon as the song starts, everybody charges to the middle and just collides.
Do they shout freedom like on Braveheart or something?
That would be an excellent idea, but I have yet to see that happen. And this time, people just started chanting it just before Fat was going to start. And of course, Fat plays I don't know how much of that intro beforehand. So we're there, and okay. And I'm just I can't believe this is about to happen. And I'm about to be in a wall of death and Weird Al. And everybody's like this, and then the intro just keeps going. So yeah.
Then it starts with whoosh. And the song kicks in.
And then finally, yeah. So.
I wish I would have witnessed that. Oh.
Yeah, this is one of those shows that I really wish I was able to go to, because when I heard you were going and Ian was telling me about it, that he was going to go, and I looked at the event and I'm like, wow, I really want to go to this, but financially I just couldn't justify it. So I was like, but I really wish I could have gone.
Do you know about my Gwar curse? I have a Gwar curse. Every time I've tried to see Gwar my entire life, something Something has gotten in the way. One time I had to have my tonsils out. Suddenly, that was the only time I could do it. One time they played like 3 shows in the area with the Meat Man opening, and I couldn't go to any of them because of finals. I've had interviews something has always gotten in the way of me seeing Guar. I think Eric Eagle Positude was what I needed in order to actually be able to see them. He kind of, he was there, and I think his presence allowed me to finally see Guar at Riot Fest.
So this was your first time seeing Guar?
My first time seeing Guar,
nice.
And eventually went in the pit. They got to the point where they were killing Taylor Swift on stage, and his wife says, "I'm going to go get Taylor Swift's blood on me," and just heads to the pit. Well, you married well, sir. And he he's like, "You want to go?" I'm like, "All right." And he guided me he was like my pit concierge. I've never seen anyone cut through a crowd so beautifully. It was friggin' ballet the way he did this. He's like, very kind of touch somebody and make a move and he would kind of sneak through, and he's doing this, and he's a big guy, he's a very muscular dude, so he's doing this, and people are will slowly kind of push back together behind him, but there's just enough time for me to sneak my little ass in there, so behind him, and it got me up there, and so I was also in the pit for Guar.
Nice. The first time I saw Guar was in Rochester, and I bought a white Guar t-shirt with the intent of getting covered in blood because I knew I was going to. So I went to the concert. It was an awesome show. Got in the pit, covered in blood, came out, and unfortunately the blood washed out. I was so disappointed the blood washed out.
I was at I can't remember if it was Gen Con 93 or 94, but it was right when I very first started showing up places to perform my comedy music. And Guar was there, and they were in full costume and just kind of walking around, and I think they were kind of handing out flyers. I don't know if they were promoting an album or a live show, but it was just Guar walking around Gen Con in costume. And I had heard of them, but then I was just kind of watching from afar huh, there's something you don't see at a convention every day. For gamers, just Guar walking around. I mean, today that would be fine. Of course Guar is at the convention, but in 93, 94, that was an unusual sighting. My only story that comes close to that is truly the most non-event story ever. I went to see Green Jello with 2 other metal bands, I can't even remember who they were, perform at the Eagles Ballroom in Milwaukee in summer of 93. Back when, the 3 Little Pigs and the Serial Killer album was, the big thing. And we got to the place with a couple of my friends, and we were waiting to get in the main ballroom, and it took forever. They finally opened the doors, and there was some signage outside that we couldn't read because it was just on some small piece of paper. We got into the place, and then the show's, about to start, and then we don't see Green Jello anywhere, and then we found out, they're sick, so they're not performing tonight. And apparently that little sign on the outside that I couldn't read is the way they informed the people that Green Jello would not be performing tonight. The only thing I was there to see. And my other friends wanted to stay to see the metal bands, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about anybody else tonight. So that sucked.
I was supposed to see Wu-Tang Clan in Rochester back in 92, I want to say it was, at some small club somewhere, and I showed up to the venue, and they had to cancel for some reason, but the 2 local openers were there, and me and my friends were like, nah, and we just went back to the dorms.
Oh, and when I was in Chicago working at Ed Bevick's drawing caricatures, I was looking through their local free paper, and I saw an ad for a local, some kind of hip-hop show, and there is a nerdcore band who is known as the Former Fat Boys.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And they're awesome dudes, but I had never heard of that act before, and I saw the thing that said, the Former Fat Boys. I'm like, are Cool Rock and Mark performing? So I actually contacted the venue to ask them if the band The Former Fat Boys was actually the 2 remaining live members at the time of the Fat Boys, and they told me no.
Yeah, I had that same thought too, and then I saw that Former Fat Boys were performing at one of the Nerdapaloozas, and I'm like, okay, clearly that's not them.
I mean, the other thing that made me think it might have been them is because in the years since then, Cool Rock got way into weightlifting, and now he's slim and muscular.
He's a trainer. He's a professional, not body, but what do they call him? He's a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And all I could think of is imagine going to a gym, hiring a personal trainer, and it's Cool Rock Ski from the Fat Boys, and like you're starting your weight loss journey, you're still overweight, and you're telling people, I'm going to the gym, I'm working out, I got a trainer. Oh, who's your trainer? Oh, I'm Cool Rock Ski from the Fat Boys. And it's like, where are you going? The International House of Pancakes? Like, what's your gym here? You know. But no, Cool Rock is like, he's ripped now, and you know.
I also like the idea of like he's personally training somebody, and they're like, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's like, you're gonna tell me, Cool Rock Ski from the Fat Boys, that you can't do it. Yeah. I can personally vouch that in this reality you can do it, because if I can do it, yeah. Anyway. At some point, we were talking about.
Yeah, we got way off topic.
I want to know how many times I've been on the FuMPCast and it has somehow resulted in Luke segueing to talking about the Fat Boys, because I'm guessing it's probably.
Lee, can you check the spreadsheet?
Yes, thank you, Lee.
So yes, more Worm Quartet, please, because I enjoy new Worm Quartet songs.
Yeah, this is. I've got more things in the works. I got one other song that's I'm working on right now. I've got a demo-ish recording of it. Still doing more crap for it. I got more stuff written. And basically,
I should be recording something for you, shouldn't I?
There's that too. I wasn't even thinking of that. Yeah, that's happening too. Yeah, you got to do that, and Ian's
got to do that,
and then everybody else has to do that.
Yeah,
that's happening. Yeah,
I'm curious because you were just part of that. Epstein Files EP or song that that MC Lars did, and now you have another MC Lars song coming out.
Yeah.
Are you two gonna like do an album together? Because I would enjoy that.
We talked about doing an EP at one point. That has yet to come to fruition. But yeah, I mean, this is the second song in a couple of months that he's had me do stuff on. This one's going to be on his Poe EP. He had me do some synths and backing vocals for it, and I've heard the final mix. It's really great. I'm really happy with what I did with it. So it's like for everybody to hear it.
Sweet. All right. So do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Sure. I'm playing a bunch of shows with Dead Rat Disco. Worm Quartet wise, I was in the Weird Outfit with Riot Fest. That's obviously out there. You can visit my Bandcamp and do that, wormquartetbandcamp.com. For those in the North Carolina area, if there are any of you, I am Dead Rat Disco is going to be performing at New York Pizza in Greensboro on October 31st, which of course is Halloween. It's a free show. There's like 3 bands playing, I think. It's all punk bands. That should be fun. November 8th, I'm playing at Slim's in Raleigh, again with a couple punk bands. And then November 22nd, I believe it is, we are going to be at the Cave in Chapel Hill. And then hopefully December, we're going to the studio and recording some crap, and you'll get to hear more things.
Nice. Excellent. All right, let's do some news.
This is the FuMP.
And everything in your body hurts all the time. When everything is going wrong, it's time to sing along with this stupid song. When you
come on over, baby, and we'll do it Asgard style. Come on.
I'm calling thunder and lightning from the blue. You're a marvel in the sack, and my Avenger will assemble for you. Bunch of Nazis, a fist right to their face, making damn sure that they always know that they're not the master race. Stick your head in a barrel of shaving cream. Be nice and clean. Shave every day and you'll always look keen.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. Sweet.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, as we mentioned, Weird Al Yankovic turns 66 years old today, so happy birthday, Al. Also, Shoebox's son Steve turns 21, and my son Darren is turning 20 next Wednesday, so, the kids are getting old.
Yeah.
Kids are getting old. I'm not getting old. Kids are getting old.
Yeah, we're fine.
We're fine, yeah.
They've also announced, Netflix has announced that the canonical birthday of Rumi from K-pop Demon Hunters is October 23rd as well. So,
okay then.
For those who celebrate.
And the only other bit of news is that we sent out the FuMP newsletter earlier today featuring the top 40 artists on the Dr. Demento show, last week's record-breaking FuMPCast number 800 and more. If you're not on our mailing list, you can view it online at tiny.cc/FuMP1025 for October of 2025. tiny.cc/FuMP1025.
I've already forgotten it.
Yep. All right. Anybody got anything before tour dates? No. All right. On Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird. Sundays online, 2 Sleeps. The last Sunday of each month on Facebook, Lauren Mayer. Mondays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. Wednesdays in San Francisco, California, Ben Vicini. On the 25th in Toledo, Ohio, Mikey Mason. The 26th on YouTube, Escape from the Secret Lab featuring the Consortium of Genius. On the 30th in Chicago, Illinois, Insane Ian with MC Lars. On the 1st in White House Station, New Jersey, Carla Ulbrich. And on the 2nd in San Jose, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. All right, Rats, you're up.
All right. The song, again, pretty self-explanatory. At what point in the relationship is it okay to fart? That's the universal question. But it also goes deeper. It could also mean anything that is pleasant and wonderful at first, but at some point down the line, there's going to be some kind of a dark thing that comes along. So you can attach whatever meaning you really want to it. So,
all right, here it is. Sooner or later, Love is Gonna Fart by the Belle Isle Rats.
It's a magical, mystical feeling. I'm walking on air, oh love. So amazing, exciting, there is nothing else that compares to the radiance of your smile or your kiss that drives me wild. Love is oh so fine, but sooner or later, love is gonna fart! Love is gonna rip one in your face! Love is gonna send a stink tornado through the middle of this place. Love is gonna fart. Love is gonna crack one up right now. Love is gonna wield a lethal butt blast, leave you gasping in a brown cloud. Love is gonna fart. Oh love, every second I'm spending with you is pure joy and delight. Oh love, there's a heart-shaped spark in me, only you can ignite. I keep imagining your face and craving your embrace. Everything is just so great, but sooner or later, love is gonna fart! It's gonna butt-bomb your sorry life! Love is gonna hurl a ghastly gas-throw grenade, and man, that baby's ripe! Love is gonna fart! Oh yeah, the great stench bird has flown. Yesterday's bean burrito is gonna make its presence known. Love is gonna fart. We've been dating several months now, and you're blasting like a hog. I now find you as appealing as a gas station hot dog. Oh no, it's coming soon. I know the signs, I've read the room. Please don't do it, I plead, I beg. But now here comes the lifting of the lid. Love is gonna fart. Love is gonna lay waste to this room and surround you with the fragrance of 1,000 open sewers. Love is gonna fart and invade your space with a silent, deadly mist. A truckload of rotting roadkill couldn't stink any more than this. Love is gonna fart.
I freaking love this song.
Yep. It's the least niche song of all time, because all that's required for it to speak to you is that you have to have at least been in a relationship and have a colon.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah, it's not one of our more highbrow things, but that's okay. We run the gamut of something kind of too intellectual, like Renaissance tech support, down to this particular subject matter.
Well, I mean, you got not like with lyrically, but musically, you got fancy there at the end.
Yeah.
With some of that stuff going on there. But
yeah, it's
the genre jumping will never not be funny to me. Like I love how you go from like 70s love R&B type sound to heavy metal, just cut it like one to the other. I love it when bands do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's always
Every that line that gets me though. It's a long got a fart when you come in with that. It's just so flipping perfect. That's glorious.
Man, when I did that, I was recording up in this loft area of our church, and that blew my. I had a gig the next night that I play, and it blew my voice out. I recorded this on a Friday, and I knew I was going to do that. I allowed myself 2 takes of each chorus because all the choruses are different. I said, okay, I can do 2 takes, and that's it, because otherwise, I'm done for. But when I sang the next night, I'm like, man, I could barely get through it. But the crowd's like going, what's wrong with Mike? Because it was just.
Sorry, I was singing about farts yesterday,
yeah.
and And...
Yeah, I told a couple of people. There were certain people that would have gotten it. Other people would have just gone, okay.
Most people have that reaction to my music, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, but you got to be on a certain wavelength, man, to get the FuMP artists. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
We're for a particular, discriminating few who appreciate that fine combination of musical sophistication and humor.
But
Dude, I am going to put that on a T-shirt. I swear to God, that is great.
It's the truth, man. And I love it that there's all different types of humor. There's parodies and there's stuff you guys do. It's awesome, man. The whole universe of music on the FuMP, all the different, they're all different, and it's so cool.
But a lot of Rat's material has that wigged out multi-tracked a cappella that you do.
Yeah.
He is the undisputed master of the wild, crazy harmonization with just his voice over and over. How many part harmony was that?
I think 4 or 5.
Seems
4 or 5
like
somewhere in there.
You've done more, but that's often in the Rat stuff. It's really cool.
And this was one song I told you. Tom came out in November, and we recorded at a real studio. This place called 64 Sound, which I think I mentioned was actually Dr. Demento's original studio in the 70s in Glassell Park. And this is the one song I hadn't written, but I knew what I wanted. So basically, I just had Tom record to a click. I just had him do a bunch of live loops in different styles, and I just sort of assembled it all from his loops because I had the general idea, but not the full-on song. So that's we do that. There's usually 1 or 2 songs every batch of Rat songs where that's the case. You just have enough for him to get the drums down, but not the full song yet. So,
and you did all the rest of the music, the guitars and everything.
Yeah. Yep. Way too much time on my hands.
Well, I love the end result. It was really well done.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's funny because there is some truth in it. When my wife and I first got married, I didn't hear her fart for like 5 or 6 years. It was a long time. I don't know why, but just all I can say is that's no longer the case. And I'll leave it at that.
Back in the 90s, when I was able to hear the Dr. Demento show on the radio, there was a song that was incredibly popular at the time called Girls Don't Fart. And it was by an artist who went by the name Strangely Brown, who was apparently like a popular singer of either pop or country, I want to say, who did it anonymously. And Dr. Demento knows who it is, but he won't say. So it's like, wow. It's all just like thinking like, who is this person?
Wow. The anonymous artist.
Yeah. I cannot be associated with songs about farts. Meanwhile, on the FuMP, we probably have enough songs to do a whole concept album.
You guys do have songs. I've seen a number of songs about poop, so I mean that's
you
can do a song about poop. You can do a song about farts.
Yeah, let's see. We got.
I say release the Strangely Files.
We have Ars Musica, It Had to Be You by Rob Balder, Fart 'Cause It's Funny by Knuckleheads, Stuck at 13 by Carla Ulbrich. Oh, the Weed Fart song as covered by Crush Groove.
There's also a cover by Worm Quartet.
That's true.
And and Wet Fart by Larry Tritel. That's a good one. So
Hey, if you guys, I have a great fart story if you want to hear one. Real
sure,
quick.
absolutely.
Okay, so this
Why
is
else
back,
would we have a podcast?
right. This is like back in the '90s. I get when I used to work for a piano tuning company, I'd get a letter every week who I'm supposed to tune for, and one of them was Richard Carson. I'm thinking, what if that was related? Anyway, he lives in Sherman Oaks. I drive up there and I see this guy watering his lawn from I just saw him from the back. It looked exactly like Johnny Carson. It turned out to be Johnny Carson's brother, Richard Carson. So anyway, that's really beside the point. So he leads me into the house. I sit down at the piano, and Richard Carson's wife comes by. He goes, "Oh, okay, hey, welcome. Here's the piano. Blah blah blah. Are you okay? Do you need anything?" "No, I'm good." "Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna just be at the other end of the house doing some work. I'll be there. How long are you gonna be? Like an hour? Yeah, about an hour, hour and a half. Okay. Let me know when you're done. I'll come out and I'll take care of the payment and all that stuff." "Okay, fine." So she goes down there all the way to the end of the hall, and I've got to let one rip. I'm thinking, oh God, I thought I'm probably cool here because she's down at the other end of the house with the door closed, and there's a slightly open window over here. So I figure, I'm good. So I let it go, and it was not good. It was just like all of a sudden I'm just enveloped in this. Oh, and all of a sudden I hear her door open. I hear her walking down the hall. I'm like, no! Oh God, no! I hear her clink, 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 clink. She's coming down the hall, and she sticks her head right over me and goes, "So, how's it going?" And then she slowly backs away. She walked right into it. She walked right into this death cloud. And oh God, I felt so bad. But it was literally, "How's it going?" Ooh. Backs away. And then so she left. "I'm fine. You probably should leave." "Yeah, I probably should leave." So what was that? And then on top of that, I busted her lamp.
Oh.
There was a lamp on top of her piano, and I accidentally dropped it, and I broke off a piece of it. I was able to glue it back, so she probably never knew. But anyway, so there's a little... You'll never hear another part story on this show, but I figure since we're talking about that, I might as well relate that one to you.
You bring glue with you when you're tuning piano?
Yeah.
I've got everything with me in my trunk. I've got glue with me, yeah. Because you never know when you're going to break the lamp of the wife of a famous late-night comedian.
Fair.
Yeah. You never know when you're going to be a squalid pest.
God damn it, Luke. So this is on your new album, Men of a Different Age.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Well, that's the one we've talked about it before, but this is the one we actually, for the first time, recorded at a real studio. This 64 Sound is one of my piano tuning clients. I basically set up a barter deal with them. I traded a number of piano tunings for basically 2 days of studio time, and it ended up actually being like 1 day. But we just kind of quit early both days, but it was just a lot of fun. He was great. He's a great engineer. He was able to get all the really good drum sounds and. It's a really cool old studio. He's got an amazing collection of old vintage microphones. He's got these old ribbon mics from the 30s and 40s, and he's got a console from the 70s, and it's just vintage. And it just sounds great. It was just a lot of fun. Tom, anything to add?
Add to that.
If you guys ever saw that documentary Yacht Rock. That was released earlier this year. A lot of the interviews were filmed there at 64 Sound. But we just have a good. Like I say, we're not trying to be famous or do anything major. We just do this for fun. Like some guys get together and golf or fish, or we get together and record stupid tunes and put them out there, and that's it. It's just fun.
I mean, that's how I started, just doing it in high school for fun, and I never stopped because it's still fun.
Yeah, and then we get to be on the FuMP a couple times a year. So how cool is that?
Indeed. My bandwidth just dropped to 0, so we may have lost things momentarily.
You kind of froze there for a second.
Yep. My bandwidth is choking. It's fun. I love Optimum. It's such a wonderful company that we don't have a choice but to use. Because yay. All right. So, do you guys have anything you'd like to plug?
Our typical, not really anything. Just a new album, Men of a Different Age, on the streaming services, and the Renaissance Tech Support video is done, and we got some more things in the work. But it's just so hard to find the time with all the other stuff going on. My daughter's got tons of stuff going on, coming up at church, we got the Christmas concert, and this play that I'm doing is taking a lot more time than I expected. And then piano tuning. So whenever I can find the time, I put towards Rats, but it's just tough. So just let's go to our website, BelleIsleRats.com, and everything you want to hear is there.
All righty. Let's do some feedback.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback, that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback.
Yeah, well, he is a madman after all.
And he's on the loose!
Madman wrote, "Thank you for having Jeff Morris talk about compiling his lists. I was most surprised Stealing Like a Hobbit did not make the top 100, and that 3 other Christmas songs were higher than Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. It was awesome to see Devo, Steve, and Luke crack the artist's all-time top 10, along with other FuMP artists making the top 40, but considering the number of tracks those 3 had played on the show over the past 25 years, it makes sense. Other than Weird Al, how many other comedy musicians from the 20th century have consistently created comedy tracks for a long time? Not many. They're mostly here." And...
Lee, let's sing a song about Lee, let's sing a song about Lee, you're testing my ADD.
Eclectic Lee wrote, "So, first you make me relive the forgotten trauma of discovering what HTML doesn't work in email, which I figured I'll rebut. But then you continue with replaying what Devo figured out about it before the past episode was over. And then Devo goes over it some more after the recaps, so now I have nothing to write in about. Other than to say thanks for remembering to read my feedback to Jeff before he left. Thanks." Thank you, Lee. And then over on YouTube.
A-Log! Oh my god, it's you, not again!
A-Log wrote, "Congratulations of you two becoming number 9 and number 4 respectively on the top 40 artists section of the finale. It's going to be a different world without the Doc show, but as I've said many times, we can go through it by staying demented. And as I said on the FuMP, Tony's doing God's work when he gave us Smogberry Pie. My only regret is that I've never had a parody song of mine done for the show. However, I'm still happy that my break-in tracks were played and I was on the Funny 25 2 years in a row. That's still a victory in my book." Yes, indeed it is.
Yes, I mean, just because it's a break-in track doesn't count as a track on the Dr. Demento show. Any track is a track on the Dr. Demento show.
All right, that's all the feedback we got. So...
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah!
Teasing. Let's see if tomorrow's song is posted, shall we?
I know it's finished.
I know it's finished, yeah. It's not posted yet. She promises me she will post it when she gets back. If not, I'll post it in the morning because she sent me the file. But tomorrow's song is by Carrie Dalby. Yay! And Tuesday's song is by Via Bella.
Via Bella.
All right.
I need Via Bella for my bunghole.
All right. That's all we got for this week. And, wow, just over an hour. How about that? 33% less than last week's show. Yeah. All right. Rats, plug yourself one more time.
Mike, you are muted.
BelleIsleRats.com, new album, Men of a Different Age. Check it out when you have nothing better to do with your life.
Shoebox, plug yourself one more time.
Or wormquartet.com for all your Worm Quartet needs. If you're looking for my new band, Dead Rat Disco, it's on the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the YouTubes.
All right.
I'm going to plug Animation and Stuff episode 9, which will be posting within a few hours. So most people hearing this, it'll already be up. And you can hear Shoebox talk about cartoons and stuff. So yay.
Shoebox likes cartoons?
Here and there.
Yes.
Wait, Shoebox likes things?
It's like drawings won't move on the big old rectangle is neat.
That's actually part of our discussion is how occasionally Shoebox likes things and occasionally Luke hates things.
Yeah,
that's part of the discussion. You'll really like it.
Can't wait, really.
I don't know if we found much as far as like movies or shows that I love and you hate. I think that's what we really need to find next.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski. And look, there's Belle, Ollie, Rats, and Shoebox.
Woo!
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of FIDM Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
"You ain't fat, you ain't nothing! You ain't nothing!"